Now, lightning input. Now, if I want to build a quick action or if I want to implement some lightning component in Salesforce, I need to have a certain input fields where the user has to enter the details here, where the user has to enter the details here and click on the save button. So if I want to implement this input text, then I should be knowing it lightning input. I should be knowing lightning input. So lightning input is, it's a similar to the input text. Do you want to create a text input or a phone input, email input? What are the different type of inputs? If you want to create it in the Aura component, you can use the lightning input. So it is, use the lightning component like it is, you have a different type of a input, text input, email, date, file input. So basically you have a date, time input, color input, password input, telephone input, URL input, number input, checkbox input, and checkbox button, like a buttons or toggle, search input with hidden label, search input with spinner, validate input, max length. So we have a different type of a types are there, like a input type. So if you go to the lightning input, now what are the attributes are available? If you wanted to know the attributes, you can also go to the testdeveloper.salesforce.com. Here we have one of the option which is called as a lightning input. So click on this lightning input. So when you click on the lightning input, we have a different type of inputs like a date input, time input, color, file, text, password, URL, checkbox, button, toggle, whatever we have discussed, everything is available here. These are the different type of inputs. These are different type of inputs. So you can, wherever the basically, whichever the text box the user is entering the data, everything can be created using the lightning input. So if you have to create a lightning input, there are certain attributes we have to use it inside the lightning input. Now, while creating the lightning input, specify the type of the input. Now, when I say type of the input is nothing but, is it a checkbox input or is it a date input or is it a color input or is it a email input or a file input or a password input? Now, similarly, we have another attribute which is called as a name. Specify the name of the input element. Now, what is the name of the input element? Like a first name, right? So those are the name of the input. Label is nothing but what is the label that you wanted to display? Is it a required attribute or not? And what is the value should be specified in this label or in this field? And is it a required field or not? So these are the couple of attributes and mandatory. These are couple of attributes and mandatory. There are other attributes also there, right? If you go to the specification, there are other attributes also there, but those are not mandatory, like a message when the range is underflow. So all these attributes you have it, but out of this, the maximum important attributes are type, name, label, value, required, right? Let's say I'm going to implement a requirement here, creating a new record. So I'll have an input field which says enter the first name, enter the second name, which is the last name, email ID, date, and we have a upload file. So this is we are going to implement right now. So in order to implement this, we are going to create a lightning card. So what we have a, so basically, if you go to the paint, now how do you implement your component? So this is the requirement. Enter first name, second name, email, date, upload. Right, that is the requirement. Now, if you want to implement this, now how do you implement? So first we create a
card.
So let's go for it. So first we will create a lightning component, and this lightning component is, so whenever we create a lightning component, how it starts? It starts with Aura. So Aura colon component, small c, Aura colon component. And then if you have checked the checkbox lightning quick action while creating the component, you have to check the lightning quick action. If you check the lightning quick action, it says here implements equal to force column lightning
quick action.
action. Finally, we'll have a end closure of Aura colon component. Now this is whenever we create a component, this is how it creates with a blank template with the Aura column component. Now within this, I need to create a 5 or 4 fields. Now per quick action, we do not need a card. It's not required the card. I'll tell you why it is not required the card, but only for quick action. So this is one field where I'm entering the first name and then last name and email ID. And then we have a date, enter the date, and finally the upload attachment. So we have these many fields which I'm going to create it. This is a first name, last name, email ID, and we have date to visit and then attachment. Now, if it is a first name, how do I implement a first name? Using the lightning input. Using the lightning input, I'll specify it. So lightning colon input. Lightning colon input. Now here I'll specify the type equal to, it's a text field. It's a text. Type equal to text. Label, I'll specify the label name equal to enter first name. Enter the first name. Now same thing for the last name. We have a last name. Enter last name. And similarly we have email. So lightning input, but here lightning colon input, enter email. So let's say email. And type should be email. Type should be email. And then the next one we have a date to visit, which is a date type. Type is a date. So label name is visit date. And type should be date. And finally we have another one which is called as a attachment. We have the final one which is called as a attachment. Attachment and type is file. Type is file. So this is exactly I'm going to implement. It's a self-closed. Lightning input is a self-closed. Now let's go ahead and implement this. Let's go to the developer console. Now let's say here implements, instead of implements, quick action LC underscore quick action. Click on submit. Now I have not selected the checkbox while entering it. I have not selected the checkbox. Now after creating it, can I modify the checkbox? No, you cannot modify it. After creating it, can I modify the checkbox? Is there any way that I can edit it? Like if you click on a bundle version, it will say API version and SF underscore com underscore app, but it does not give you the checkboxes. Instead of, if you want a checkbox, you need to add separately here implements equal to, you need to specify force column lightning quick action. So if you specify this, automatically the checkbox is enabled at the backend. Automatically the checkbox is enabled at the backend. Now we are going to add a lightning input. Lightning colon input type equal to text. We are creating the label which is called enter the first name. Enter first name. Now same thing, I'm using it here. This is the last name. This is last name. And next we have an email. And the text type is email. And after that we have a visit date. And let's say here, this is the date. And finally we have a attachment. Finally we have attachment and type equal to file. Let's say if you want to make it as a required, you can make it as a required also. Required equal to right. So you can make it as a required. Let's say first name, last name is a required. So only we are using the lightning input to create a each field. But where is the change? Change is a type. If you want a text field, use the type is text. If you want email field is type is email. If you want to date is use the date field. If you want the attachment, use the type as a file. Only that is the different. Everything is a same. Now I'm going to go to the account and let's refresh here. Now click on the create record or a lightning component. Now immediately it shows that lightning quick action. Now this quick action does not say that whether I am creating the contact or whether I am creating the component. Whether I am creating the component. Right? It does not say which one I am creating it. I'm just created the template there. It does not give me the clarity whether I am creating the contact or whether I am creating the case or whether I am creating the account. It does not give the information. It's just a template. How to use the input field we are seeing right now. Now I have created a lightning quick action. Let's say quick create. Quick create. And click on save. Once the component is created, it says action icon is this lightning component, and this is the lightning component name. Now, so now we need to add it onto the object. That means page. I need to add it onto the page. On the account page, I need to add it. Now go to the page layout. We have so many page layouts. What is the page layout of this one? Let's go to the edit page. Now click on the detail section. Click on this. Now it is an account layout. Let's go to the account layout. In the account layout, we are going to add a quick action that we have created right now. So which is this one. What is the one we have created? Quick create. So lightning, let's say here, drag it and place it onto the edited bricks. And let's click on save. Now go to the refresh button. Whatever we created the quick action, it is only available in the lightning component. It is not available in the classic. Let's click on the edit page. Now we need to update this as well, because edit page is the button which are displaying dynamically. So here instead of a file, I'll choose the quick action, quick create. Done. So quick create is available. Now click on this save. Activation. Close, and let's go back. Here, if I click on it, quick create, what is happening here? It displaying the label. Label is not displaying. Label is not displaying it. Is there any error that I have written? Yes, it should be small letters. Let's click on save. Go back to the account. Refresh. On quick create. No. Enter first name, last name is a required field, so it is showing the required field, email, and visit date attachment. Now the reason why I said it does not require the lightning card, because whenever we are creating the quick action, Salesforce itself is going to add a card. Because if you observe, whenever we are creating the quick action, it says here one of the option which is available, height. So let's go to the one which we have created, quick action. So which is called as a quick create. So it says height is 250 pixel, right? So whenever we create a quick action, automatically Salesforce is going to add a lightning card. So that's the reason lightning card is not mandatory for the quick action. If you are creating for the lightning tab, lightning component for the tab, or interface is for the app hostable, app colon hostable, then you have to use the lightning card. But the quick action, it is not required. Quick action, it is not required. Now, quick action has, so this is about the lightning input. So lightning input is used for what purpose we use the lightning input?
To create the fields. To take the to receive the
To
input
create
from
input
the
field. User input.
To accept the user input depending on the type of attribute. Take a homework, implement a Lightning quick action on the account object called new record. On clicking on the new record, quick action, display the 8 input fields. So enter the first name, which is a required, enter the last name, not required, email, not required, and enter the account number is a required, enter the required password, which is a required. So date of visit, and then we'll have a is it still active? Is it still active? Is a toggle. Is it still active? Is a toggle. Now, how do you use the toggle? How do you use the toggle? You know the type, which is a for the text or a file or a different one, you have a different option. But for the toggle one, how do you use it? So toggle one, just specify the type equal to toggle. Just specify the type equal to toggle. So by default, it will be taken care. When you say type equal to toggle, it will be used as a toggle. Then the last one is upload file. You will be able to upload the file here. Now, the one which we have created. Now go down, upload the file. When you click on the upload file, it will take it from your system. Let's say it downloads. Right, so it will be uploaded. Right, that option will work to capture the file. So we have to work on that. But when you click on the upload file, it will open up the file and you can choose any file here, but it does not display here. For displaying the which file you have uploaded, that is another customization.
A toggle actually works like a checkbox field, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, so that's about the Lightning input, and I have provided the link.
We have created now one program, ma'am. Using that, we can implement quick actions in different objects.
Yes.